What is a concept in academic terms? It refers to a main idea in a particular discipline. Look at the key words or topics that frequently come up in your discipline. It's often something abstract, something you cannot see or touch. As you start to study a specific discipline, you will be introduced to some of the main concepts that are key to that discipline. For example, in the field of public management and administration, some of the first concepts you may be introduced to are the state, democracy, governance, and so on. Make sure that you understand what is meant by each of these concepts that are relevant to the discipline you are studying. It's a good idea to start developing concept maps as you are introduced to new concepts in your discipline. Start a map when you first come across a new concept and add to it as you find new information. Remember to write down the sources that refer to your concept. How do we know what is meant by a specific concept? If you and I talk about a concept, are we both referring to the same thing? For example, if I refer to capital, what do I mean? Is it the same as what you mean when you talk about capital? We could be using the same word but mean different things. So to avoid this problem, if you're going to refer to a concept in your academic writing, you first need to define that concept. Defining the concept is the first step in the process of conceptualization. How do you go about defining a concept? You need to look at how other academics and researchers have defined the concept. You could start by checking out a dictionary definition of the word, but that's limited. We want a deeper understanding of how the word is used in the academic context. It's good to have an idea of when that concept was first discussed in academic writing. When was it first used and by whom? In what discipline was the concept first used? Look at definitions of the concept since then. Has the definition of this concept changed over time or has it stayed the same? If the definition of the concept has changed, we can say that the concept has evolved or developed over time. In what way has the concept evolved? The definition may have become broader or deeper to include other elements or dimensions. It may be that over time the concept has been applied in other disciplines. Now look at the following discussion on the concept scaffolded learning. You can see that it was first used in an early childhood learning context by Bruner in 1975. It first referred to the parent-child relationship. Note how the term over time has expanded in meaning and context to include other disciplines and situations. In your academic writing, in order to define a concept, you need to look at how different prominent scholars in the field of study have defined the concept. A single definition will not suffice. You want to look at a number of academic definitions to see if there are similarities, and if so, what are the common features of these definitions? How do these definitions vary? At the end of your discussion of various academic definitions of the concept, you should be able to draw some conclusions. You may note that there is general broad consensus or agreement between scholars as to what this concept means, or you may note that there is no general broad consensus or agreement on how to define the concept. Scholars are divided on the topic. In your writing, you must make it clear what definition or combination of definitions you are using when you refer to the concept. So that is a brief introduction to what a concept is and how to conceptualize in academic writing.